All right, joining me now to weigh in, our great friend Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor, author of Trump's Triumph, America's Greatest Comeback. Newt, we have other fish to fry, but this is a big story today. And the importance of law and order culturally, for families, I mean, just so people stop getting murdered and so forth on the streets, homelessness, but it's also an economic issue, Newt Gingrich. I mean, I remember Rudy Giuliani back in '93 talking about law and order as a tax cut. He was dead right. Mr. Trump may not have mentioned all that today, but that is part of the issue, is it not? There's no question about it.
Look, you cannot have a city that has rampant crime and expect it to have economic growth, expect jobs to come in, and frankly, expect citizens to want to live there. Washington's a unique case because it is the national capital. It's in the Constitution, and I think the government owes it to the American people to be able to visit their national capital without being afraid. So I think you start with the idea that there's no real level of violence tolerable in Washington, D.C. As Speaker, we did a lot of things to take over the city. We rebuilt its capacity. We strengthened its police force. We passed your kind of tax cuts, which encouraged new jobs, new business, people to come back into the city and buy houses. There was a huge renaissance from the time we took over, which lasted about 10 or 12 years, until the corruption and the bureaucracy and the left-wing values. I mean, if you have people go around every day who favor criminals over the police, who want to release criminals, who block ICE from getting rid of criminals, why should it surprise you that there's a real consequence in terms of crime and in terms of risk to people? So I think President Trump did exactly the right thing today. I hope it's the first step in making Washington back into a capital all of us can be proud of, beyond safety. And I think the steps he's taking with the homeless are part of that. And I hope that his commission will look at every step necessary to strengthen the city of Washington and give people a better future.
No bail, no jail, Newt. The Democratic Party, no bail, no jail, to me, that's their rallying cry. It's against the police. Many of them want to defund the cops, but whatever, no bail, no jail. Who's going to move into a city where the streets and the businesses and the schools are not safe? I ask you that. I mean, who's going to move into a state where there's no safety and there's no law and order? I mean, I don't think Mr. Trump can talk enough about the importance of all that.
Look, I think if you look at the migration patterns for the last 20 years, they have steadily been away from the blue states, which are dominated by big government socialism and radical values, and people moving to states that have common sense, that provide safety, that have a tax policy that encourages work and encourages small businesses. And the pattern's clear. People move with their feet out of these places. It's hitting New York. It hits Connecticut, New Jersey, Illinois, California, all of which have big government socialists with radical values, none of which work, which is the key thing. It's amazing to me that they survive because the machines are so strong and the corruption is so deep that there's an enormous amount of money spent, often government money, your tax money, to keep in place machines that are very dangerous for the very people of their city.
And you know what else? I want to re-raise the issue that Laura Ingraham said on this show last week. A superpower, a great nation, okay, cannot have dangerous streets and the absence of public safety and law and order. You just cannot. You can't have a superpower without a great capital, which is what Mr. Trump is trying to get at, that we have the worst murder rates of all these comparable capitals around the world. You know, Vladimir Putin looks at this, Xi Jinping. You just can't have that. A superpower needs a fabulous capital. We do not have a fabulous capital right now, and we should.
Well, look, it tells you a lot about the Founding Fathers, that from the very beginning, when we were a small, tiny, weak country, they envisioned a city that would be magnificent, buildings that would be remarkable. And from the very beginning, with the building of the Capitol, they created a system which was designed to make Washington a worldwide city. And they were doing this when we were very small, very poor, and nobody's even quite sure we'd survive. So there's a long tradition. And you go down the mall, you go to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial. At its best, it is a magnificent place. And I think what we need is to go back, fix it up again, and figure out, and this is a problem in every one of these major cities. It's true in Baltimore, it's true in New York, true in Los Angeles, Chicago. These cities are dominated by machines that are paid for by tax money through unionized systems that keep people in power no matter how bad they are, no matter how corrupt they are, and no matter how incompetent they are. And what we're seeing in New York and also in Minneapolis, where you're having big government socialists with radical values, these folks are totally out of touch with reality, and they're going to be an enormous threat to the survival of those cities.
All right, the great Newt Gingrich, friend, mentor. We will leave it there. Thank you, Newt.